Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump, so.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does, and you prefer the Affordable Care Act.
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I guess the Affordable Care Act?
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I'm not really sure. My girlfriend supports Trump, so I go with whatever she says.
What is the main difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act?
One is you pay, and then the other one is Obama pays for you.
Right, Obama pays, pretty big difference.
Pretty big difference.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too high, so people are end up paying more.
Right.
So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Right, correct.
Right.
Which is obvious based on the name.
It's in the name, right.
Right.
Why do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Does Maga know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing? And do they also know that the reason we have it is because the Republicans wanted a compromise? Obama wanted something closer to universal health care. He wanted a public option that people could choose that was government funded instead of paying higher prices for private insurance. The Republicans were the ones that said, no, the insurance companies have to make their money. And so Obamacare was the compromise. And what's even more amusing is A.C.A. originally was because of Republican think tanks. They originally came up with the concept of the idea prior to Obama. The individual mandate, which means that everybody was required to have health insurance, was actually proposed by the Heritage Foundation in the late 1980s. This was supposed to be a market-based alternative to universal health care. In 2006, in Massachusetts, Mitt Romney created Romneycare. This used the exact same framework: mandates, subsidies, private insurance exchanges. 2009-2010, not a single Republican voted for the A.C.A., even though the entire thing was the same exact framework of the policies that they had proposed. We're perfectly fine with Romneycare having. For all the Republicans bitching and all of the time that they had to think of something to replace A.C.A., they still have no plan.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My good name is Gracie D. I hope you all are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. You know, I did an episode about, how some Maga supporters didn't understand, or they didn't know that Affordable Care Act is the same as Obamacare. Obamacare is just a nickname that was given by Republicans to dehumanize Affordable Care Act. And the reason, you may ask, and I've been trying to understand, why would they actually be against this act that is actually helping so many American citizens, millions of American citizens with pre-existing conditions. And I got to understand that Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, was the first law to fully ban discrimination in all health insurance markets. And people didn't want this. People have been saying that Obamacare is a scam. He lied to us. They did this to make people make millions and to help insurance companies and corporations. But honestly, with what I've been researching and what I've seen, I don't think that's the case. You want to tell me that this was the only first law to fully ban discrimination in insurance markets? Like, you can be treated with pre-existing conditions as long as you have Affordable Care Act. You don't have to be eligible for this. The only people that are actually not eligible for Obamacare are the illegal immigrants. And Republicans are saying that the only reason as to why Democrats are trying to fight Obamacare or to keep Obamacare is to give free health care to illegal immigrants, and that is not the case. But I want us to watch some of these few clips of these people that don't actually understand that Obamacare is the same as Affordable Care Act, and it's quite sad that in 2025, living in a very developed country like the United States of America, people don't understand, and because of hatred and racism, they would rather not research, and they get so surprised when they actually find out that Obamacare is the same as Affordable Care Act. And what does that tell us? Hatred, racism, and ignorance is leading so many people, and people are just voting, based on ignorance, hatred, and racism. Let's just dive right ahead, and we'll be back with more commentary.
I cannot believe in the year of our Lord 2025, in the United States of America, there are people who live in this country who do not know that Obamacare was a slur by the Republicans for the A.C.A. I can't believe it. The world used to think that Americans were intelligent and smart. But because of this TikTok, the world now realizes that Americans are easily manipulated, lied to, and they just absorb it into their brain. The latest is that because of the A.C.A., premiums have gone up. No, that's another manipulation by the Republicans. Corporations, United Healthcare, Cigna, Humana, all of them set the rates. Corporations. And how do they set the rates? They have what are called actuaries. Actuaries. And it's a game of chance. The actuary calculates how many of you Americans will seek health care, what the premium will be, and how much profit they will make. Yes, that's how it works. It has nothing to do with the legislation. It has to do with GREED. This is what Luigi was trying to tell you.
So the new thing now is all these people coming on here. Well, if Obamacare's too expensive, then maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's been 15 years and Obamacare is still so expensive. So what's your fucking alternative? Where's the GOP alternative to the A.C.A.? Because first of all, if the A.C.A. gets cut, any small business, I have a small business, we have a small business, we depend on the A.C.A. The A.C.A. is the only way that you can afford to buy insurance if you're trying to start a small business, okay? And if you are too young to remember that before the A.C.A., insurance companies could just deny you for any pre-existing condition. They could just say, oh, no, you have diabetes, we're not going to cover you ever. You don't ever get to, oh, you had cancer 10 years ago? No, we're just not going to cover you ever. You just don't get to have insurance. That's what the A.C.A. fixed. The A.C.A. fixed the lifetime cap. So if you got a cancer that needed long-term treatment, at some point before the A.C.A., insurance companies could just say, we've paid out your lifetime limit, and it doesn't matter if you needed another year's worth of treatment to survive, we're not paying for it. Those are the type of things the A.C.A. got rid of, and helped. And if you want to change that, if you want to get rid of that, then give us a fucking alternative. And that is why the Dems will not vote for Republicans, because that is exactly what they're just trying to rip it away, and they have no plan to fix it. They have no plan. They never have. Donald Trump, the day when he was running for president the first time, 2015, I have a plan. And then you'll remember this time during the debates when he said, I have concepts of a plan. It's been 15 years since the ACA, 15 years of Republicans whining and bitching and crying about how much they hated the ACA, and not one time, not one single time has a single Republican come up with an alternative plan. And now they're just going to fucking stop subsidizing it. And if they stop subsidizing it, everybody on the ACA's medical insurance is going to double, quadruple. Everybody on Medicaid, everybody that has private insurance. Because those subsidies were paid from the government to the ACA to cover the cost of not making people just lose their insurance because they had a pre-existing condition. And so when you take those subsidies away, there's insurance gets a bunch of money insurance companies aren't going to be getting from the government. They're still going to get their money. They're just not going to get it from the government. So they're going to get it from us. And you guys just want to keep coming on here bitching about the ACA and how it made everything more expensive. Well, sorry. Then come up with a different plan. One fucking Republican. Show me one fucking Republican. Mike Johnson just came out and said, everybody knows it's Republicans working on healthcare. Fucking bullshit. We have never seen any fucking healthcare plan, not one sentence from Republicans. So quit your fucking bitching and understand that they are trying to fuck us all. They're trying to fuck us all. And you're going to let them because you've bought the bullshit that the ACA is the problem. Losing the ACA would be the problem because there is no fucking backup. They have no fucking plan. They're just trying to fucking fuck us over. How are you guys not seeing that? How is that so hard to understand?
I legit thought this was fake, so I had to go look it up. Trump is complaining that Obamacare is too expensive and prices are going through the roof, and he wants Democrats to do something. This is the man who said he had concepts of a plan. This is the party who for 15 years now has been saying we need to repeal and replace Obamacare, and they don't have a plan. And now Trump oddly is calling the Democrats to fix it. They've been trying. They've been trying to fix Obamacare for a while, ACA. They've tried to improve it. Republicans don't do it. They won't let them. So you have a voice, use it.
People have been saying that before Obamacare, the insurance market was way better than it is to date. So right now, you've been seeing what's been happening with the government shutdown, where Democrats and Republicans are fighting against Obamacare. The Republicans don't want to fund or give subsidies for people to keep getting health insurance or to be covered by Affordable Care Act, A.C.A. Obamacare. So the Republicans don't want to pay this money, and they're saying it's so much, and they want a free insurance market where insurance companies can compete, and who gets to benefit from that? Maybe some of these people have these insurance companies. Some of these people have their billionaire friends that, have insurance companies that they're actually trying to fight for. And the reason as why I'm saying this is because before Obamacare, there was no any other way that people were being protected when it comes to health. So I was asking myself, was there any other act that was actually helping or cared for patients with pre-existing conditions, also that let children to remain under their parents' insurance cover up to the age of 26? And no, I haven't seen anything like that. So this thing has been helping a lot of people, millions of American citizens, but people are really trying to dehumanize Obamacare just because, it was a success, and I think it does not make these people happy, and insurance companies are suffering, and that's why billionaires are just trying so hard to do away with Obamacare. So before Obamacare, there was Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, that was, I think, enacted in 1996. Before Obamacare, HIPAA was the main federal law offering some protection for people with pre-existing conditions. What it did is prevented group health plans like employer-provided insurance from denying coverage because of pre-existing conditions, limited how long an employer's insurance could exclude coverage for a pre-existing conditions, usually up to 12 months, allowed people to keep coverage when changing jobs. So people were profiting from that. But what were the limitations? It didn't help much for people buying insurance individually. Insurance could still deny them or charge them more. That is not the same as Obamacare or the A.C.A. State high-risk pools. Before 2010, many states ran high-risk insurance pools for people who could not get private insurance due to pre-existing conditions. Those pools let people buy coverage, but premiums were very high, coverage was often limited, waiting periods, exclusion, and etc. They were meant as a last resort, not a true protection. Number 3, Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP, along with Medicaid-provided coverage for low-income children and family. These public programs did not exclude kids based on pre-existing conditions, but this only applied to those eligible for government coverage, not private insurance. So if you are not eligible for government coverage and you have a child with pre-existing condition, then you would not get this. You not get any help. But here with Obamacare or A.C.A, you are able to get help. You're even able to stay on your parents' insurance cover up to the age of 26. That was never the case before. That has never happened before. Number 4, Medicaid and Medicare. These federal programs have always covered people with pre-existing conditions. Medicare for seniors and people with disabilities. Medicaid for low-income individuals, though they are based on eligibility, not protection for everyone in the private market. And what Obamacare brought was protection for each and every other American citizen, unlike whatever you had before. So when Affordable Care Act, which you all calling Obamacare that most people hate it so much, was put in act in 2010. And this was the only first law to fully ban discrimination in all health insurance markets. Insurance cannot deny, drop, or charge more for pre-existing conditions. Also expanded Medicaid, created marketplaces, and added subsidies to help people afford plans. But people are not happy about this, and now they're all calling Obamacare a scam. They're calling the A.C.A a scam. Some people don't even understand that Affordable Care Act is the same as Obamacare, and you've listened to these people being interviewed and saying the reason as to why they don't like Obamacare, or the reason as to why they support it, is because they don't like Obama and everything that he has to do. Why? You might sit there and wonder, why don't you like Obama? What is it about him that you hate so much that you have to hate a plan or a law that was put there to help American citizens, that has been saving millions of lives of American citizens with pre-existing conditions? You've seen cancer patients coming out here and saying how Affordable Care Act has really helped them. People coming out here giving testimonies how their parents were saved because, of Affordable Care Act. But you all want it gone so bad because of the hatred that you have towards Obama. Because you all thought, oh, this must be for Black Americans and minorities in the United States of America. So many Caucasian people are getting surprised to learn that Obamacare is the same as Affordable Care Act. I don't know what you all think about this, but I would really love you to tell me what you think about this on the comment section, because I never expected that I'll live to see how ignorant some people can be while they're living in a very privileged country, that you have access to internet, that you can access to smartphones, that you can sit and do a little bit of research just to get some knowledge in your head and understand some of these things, get to understand some of these policies that your politicians or your leaders are putting out there, some of these policies that you're actually supporting, not even knowing the consequences that you're gonna have to pay or suffer later. Like now what is happening with this new current administration, now they are going to do away with Affordable Care Act. If that happens, millions of American citizens are going to lose coverage. Right now, they are saying it's even hard to go and shop for insurance out there because of the time and the limitations that this new administration is trying to put. But you all want to come out here and dehumanize Obamacare just because you don't like the person who is in law, just because you don't like the person who put their signature there. The only reason as to why they actually called it Obamacare was to dehumanize it. And it actually worked for them, because you're seeing now so many people don't like it because they don't know that Affordable Care Act is the same as Obamacare. It's crazy, guys. I would really love you all to tell me what you all think about these. Every clip and every stitch that you've seen on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screen. So thank you so much for watching up to this part. I really do appreciate. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. And until the next episode, have a great time.